Okay, so I will be presenting as you mentioned, no, yung schema change. Let me just share my screen. Can everyone see it na po? Kita mo siya? Okay, good. Uh, okay, so schema change, this is something that comes up pretty quickly, no? Once you move beyond solo projects, especially when multiple people start working on the same database. So, for example, let's ano lang, how do you usually manage yung mga SQL changes natin sa mga database, right? So, usually in a team, especially if you're a solo developer, no, what we do is we run scripts manually against the database, right? Minsan may mga folders pa tayo dyan ng mga SQL changes natin for our own organization siguro. And well, it's how we work usually as an individual, no? And usually, what we do is we copy paste it directly sa mga console natin. Like for example, sa SQL, Postgre, mga ganon. When does it break down? So here in my slide, you can see it starts breaking down when the team gets a little bit bigger, no? Siguro in cases na let's say enterprise level, yung mga ganyan, there are multiple developers involved managing the same database or multiple databases, or maybe even you have multiple environments, right? So yung running scripts manually, it works at first, but then once you get there, it will start getting confusing kasi you don't have a record of what was executed by someone or what you executed maybe. And doon nagsisimula siguro yung confusion, and sana hindi naman yung mga errors, no? Yung mga issues. And being in the data field, we want to avoid issues like this kasi yung impact could be severe. So, dito pumapasok yung discipline dapat natin. So, and for example, did that migration run in production? May nag-add na ba ng column na yan? If we don't have a process here, what ends up happening is we end up parang pinging the team na, did someone run this already? Mga ganon. And it's just a time-consuming process. That's what I believe anyways. So, yeah. Okay, so what is schema change? So schema change essentially is a version migration parang management tool for Snowflake, no? So you can write schema changes as numbered SQL files from let's say version 1, version 2, version 3. So if you're familiar with semantic versioning, so let's say version 1.0.1, yung mga ganun. So schema change keeps tracks of these changes. Meron siyang built-in na parang change history. Ilalagay niya, i-create to automatic ni schema change sa database or schema na i-run mo siya against. And most of all, free siya to use. So Snowflake actually has a article, and it's actually part of their Snowflake Labs, si schema change. So you can check it out later. I'll send the link naman. So yan. So if familiar kayo, if not familiar kayo anyways, so Flyway or Liquibase, it's the same idea essentially, no? Ayan. So, okay. Ngayon, I want to know parang, do you actually need this, right? So, I don't know kung ano yung itsura ng mga teams niyo or what you do internally, no? So, probably not if you're working solo kasi you have more jurisdiction on what you do, you keep track of what you do. So essentially it will become just a additional para step sa ginagawa mo. Or let's say schema changes are rare, yan. Yung hindi naman paulit-ulit nagbabago yung tables natin, so it doesn't make sense to use schema change siguro. And if you're not using CI/CD. So CI/CD kasi is parang it essentially boosts yung capability ng schema change kasi automated na lahat. You just have to push yung changes mo and automatic na ma-apply sa specific environment. So, do you need this once siguro yun nga, multiple engineers on the same database, multiple environments, dev, staging, or prod, and automated deployments na via CI/CD. Okay. Um, yeah. So how does schema change work? So ito yung na-mention ko na semantic versioning. So Snowflake, schema change actually has different styles for your naming. You can use anything naman. It's part of the GitHub, so you can view yung README file nila there later on. So usually what you do is you write yung version SQL files natin, then schema change checks yung change history table, then it only runs yung specific scripts na bago from the change history table. Then, after running it, it records everything, yung mga in-apply niya, then yun na yun. So, if you have any concern siguro, let's say, you added a script, tapos hindi siya nag-run, schema change actually stops yung buong deployment, tapos titigil lang siya doon. It only adds yung mga nag-successful na na-run, so you don't have to worry about na may changes na parang nag-skip yung mga deployment, no? So it actually runs it concurrently, and if nag-fail, titigil lang siya doon. So siguro in addition na lang rin with rollback mechanisms. In these cases, schema change actually doesn't parang roll back yung mga changes mo. What you need to do when you roll back things is to apply the opposite, parang alter table. So let's say nag-add ka ng column and you want to alter it back, you just alter yung table, then parang drop column na lang, parang gano'n. So yun lang. So instead of parang guessing what you run, as mentioned in one of our problems before, na kapag malaki na yung team, you have a clear record kung ano yung mga in-execute ng mga na-execute na sa database niyo, and it really helps na parang hindi kayo maging confused at hindi kayo over parang message pa kayo and everything, 'di ba? So yung gano'n. Okay. So how does this work na? So schema change, you can actually plug it into your CI/CD pipeline. If you're not aware, CI/CD is continuous integration and continuous deployment. So all you have to do is push yung changes mo sa Git. For our case, we will be using GitHub and GitHub Actions and GitHub workflow. No? So you write yung SQL, lalagay mo siya, ipupush mo sa repository mo, then the pipeline runs, then i-apply niya automatic yung schema change sa Snowflake. So, bonus natin yan. So, if you've noticed siguro, usually, hindi madali mag-setup ng bagong staging or parang bagong environment. Since usually isang environment lang naman yung database na ginagalawan natin, and sometimes it can get daunting to apply changes, especially kung bago ka or medyo kinakabahan ka sa change na iraran mo. So, with schema change kasi, it is easier to run yung mga changes mo on a different environment, since it's a one-to-one copy kung magawa mo siya from the ground up, 'di ba? Naka-schema change kayo. So, you just spin it up, run mo lang yung mga changes mo on a different environment, then you can actually check agad, 'di ba, kung tama ba yung ine-expect mo before actually promoting yung changes mo to a higher environment like production. So, yeah. So, actually, that ends yung slide natin. We will move on to the demo na. If you have questions siguro before yung demo, I think pwede naman siguro no Yui. If not, then I can proceed naman na with the demo. Since very straightforward naman si schema change talaga. Okay. Let's see. Ayan. Oh, so thank you, Nina, no, for linking. So, yung nilink po ni Nina dyan sa chat natin is actually yung official schema change link na supported, I guess, ni Snowflake, no? So, you can check yung changes nila dyan. I will post more links, especially yung GitHub ni Snowflake schema change, and where you can get yung trial account. So, yung si Snowflake, meron tayong trial account dito for about $400. No, so all you have to do is parang register, then you can immediately try it. And I believe may mga limitations lang if you want to use yung AI part. So I'll send the link as well for that. So let me just share yung other screen ko. Okay, hold on. Okay. Entire screen. I-entire screen ko na lang, guys. So, don't judge my computer. Anyway, so here is an example. Kita naman yata, no? Kita na yun naman VS Code. So, ito yung wala pa? Hindi kita yung VS Code ko.
Kita na dito sa end ko, yung VS Code.
Okay. Ayan, okay, thank you. So, this is an example ng schema change. No? So, created a quick demo lang. So, let's say, meron kayong version, parang, sabihin na nagsa-startup pa lang kayo ng table nyo. So, what I have here is, kunyari, nagkikreate siya ng table, nag-insert tayo ng employees. So, here yung GitHub workflow, which is yung CI/CD part natin. So, this is, siguro, ginawa ko lang ang nagpatulong na lang ako sa AI on how to do this. Pero essentially, ayan, very straightforward naman. Yung dun sa article, they will insist na you use username password muna for testing purposes, no? But in a production siguro level or in a enterprise level, we insist na gumamit tayo ng private keys, key pair. So in this case, ito naka-key pair tayo. Then we actually just run yung schema change directly naman. Ayan. So we just pip install it, then schema change deploy. Yun lang siya, ganun lang siya kabilis. Then you just specify kung nasan yung migrations or yung scripts na gusto mong i-run niya. Then that's it. Yun na yun. So for now, I'll move yung create employees natin sa migrations folder. So I already prepared naman this. Ayan. So once na move na natin, so makikita naman natin pag git, magi-green agad yan and makikita mo yung changes, diba? So I just add it, then deploy. Yeah. So V1. So I'll show you my repository later on. While that's pushing, makikita natin dito, this is the Snowflake demo account natin. So as you can see, wala pang mga tables dyan or anything, right? So ito yung actual GitHub natin. Ayan. So let's develop branch. So, dito makikita mamaya yung changes natin. Here, we have yung environment secrets natin or GitHub environment. This is how we differentiate yung kung saang environment ba siya mapupunta, kung dev ba siya or prod. In setting this up, makikita niyo lang siya under settings, siguro sa GitHub niyo, then under environment. Then you can configure it here. So, here I have yung dev environment ko listening to the develop branch. Tapos ito yung environment secrets na gagamitin niya. Okay. Then let's see. Punta tayo sa actions. Okay. Tayo natin mag-run. Hopefully mag-run. Oops, sorry. Hold on. Okay. Then papa-merge. Sorry, ito. Mag-merge lang muna ako ng conflict saglit. So, merge editor. Set. Ako quick merge. Set. So, good. Should be able to push. Okay, there you go. So, wait lang natin. Okay. Ayan. So, as you can see, nag-run na siya ng changes natin. So, I'll let you monitor muna yung GitHub workflow natin for CI/CD. Yeah. So as you can see here, kinreate yung change history table na previously wala siya dito. Ayan. Completed successfully. So what do we expect once I refresh this? Ang ina-expect natin is dapat meron tayong employees table, may laman sa employees table, and meron tayong change history. So ngayon, pag nirun ko to, even without refreshing this, Ayan, makikita natin, di ba? So this is yung minimension ko kanina that we can track yung changes moving forward, di ba? Or once na nag-start kayo from here, so any new implementation, it would be really good na meron kayong ganitong change tracking, especially pag lumaki yung database niya, right? So ngayon, pag nag-select all from employees ako, lalabas siya, right? Ngayon, what if we added a new version? So it's pretty straightforward lang rin. For example, we want to alter yung table employees. We want to add a column ng department, let's say. Tapos, ito, backfill lang ito. So, usually may mga ganito naman tayong ginagawa, di ba? Whenever we add new column sa mga existing table. So, lalagay ko lang siya dito. So, yung naming actually, ginawa ko lang siya V2, V3, but you can actually do version 1.0.1, version 1.1 or whatever you want. Depends na lang siguro to sa, I guess, organization nyo or how you want to do it. Usually, there's something called yung mga semantic versioning, which is major, yung una, minor, then patch. So, yan. Lagay lang natin dito. Then, I'll push yung changes ko. Say, V2. Yan. So, once I push that, GitHub workflow should run. So, actions. Ayan. So, kita nyo, automatic agad siya nag-run without even having to, So, usually, in a setup, you don't actually push directly sa development environment. So, in our demo purposes, nagpo-push lang directly sa demo. But, in an actual setup, usually you have feature branches na i-merge mo to develop para pang i-merge na lead mo after reviewing yung mga changes, di ba? So, antayin lang natin itong mag-run. Ay, actually, so, okay. So, once I view yung change history, ayan. So, almost immediately, di ba, nandun agad si version 2. Very straightforward naman yung change, di ba? So, select all from employees. Ayan, makikita natin added yung department. It's very simple. Ngayon, what if, as I mentioned, gusto mong maglagay sa production? Right now, sa production natin, as you can see dito, wala siyang laman, di ba? Or sabihin natin, kahit hindi production, kahit sabihin natin testing environment, baka better yung sense. So kung wala siyang laman, to populate yung change natin exactly as is from our lower environment, all you have to do is just change yung environment na pagde-deployan ni schema change. So I have here yung sa schema change deploy natin. As you can see, I modified kasi yung change history table natin to add yung environment prefix. So by default, wala kasi yan. Yeah. So what we do is i-merge lang natin si develop papunta ng main branch, which is yung production natin. So I just create a pull request. So syempre pag nag-pull request ka, i-review yan ng lead mo. Okay. Pag okay si lead sa changes mo, i-merge niya, confirm. And then pag tumanta ka ng actions, makikita mo magra-run yan, pero magra-run siya sa main branch. So ang expectations natin after nito mag-run is that yung exact copy nitong change schema history ng dev and yung exact copy ng table from employees should exist sa production natin. So wait lang natin mag-run. And deploying to prod, as you can see, diba? So ang magiging changes lang dyan actually is yung environment. So I have here a configured main na nakikinig. Ito yung prod ko. And then most likely, ang magbabago lang yan is yung nandito. Pwedeng nasa ibang account, pwedeng ibang role yung nagde-deploy or yung user, warehouse. Ganun lang siya. You can even add your own environment secrets depende sa kung paano yung deployment style natin. So, okay, ayan. So, successful. So, what we expect here is yung one-to-one copy sa production. Ayan, diba? So, very simple, very straightforward. Ayan, there you go. So, ngayon, if you want to do a change directly, let's say, mag-a-add salary ka lang sa dev environment, ayan, very simple na lang. I-add na lang natin si V3. Ayan. So, ito, i-add ko to sa development environment. Automatic rin siya magra-run. It's very, lang. So, Eto, while we wait for that to run, I want to share with you yung mga, I guess ito, it would depend na lang talaga sa team yung may mga branching strategy, versioning strategies dito. Pero ito yung sinasabi ko kanina ng mga links. I'll share it with you na. Hala, copy. Ito yung GitHub ni Snowflake. So everything about schema change nandito. Then ito yung $400 trial account. So I believe you just have to sign up here. Ayan. So lagay nyo na lang yung work email nyo. So actually I believe pwede ka rin kumuha ng, ayun, I'm a student exploring Snowflake, and ganyan. Sige, try natin. Try natin. And so pwede kang pumili actually ng cloud provider behind yung Snowflake. So since Snowflake kasi, under the hood, pwede siyang Azure, pwede siyang AWS, pwede siyang GCP. So kung ano man yung ginagamit niyo sa company niyo. Kasi kapag let's say GCP kayo tapos AWS ginamit niyo, meron pa yung parang mga cross data charges cross cloud charges mga ganun. So just pick whatever your company is using or kung ano man yung gusto mong preference, no? Then may mga region naman yan. Make sure na lang select nyo yung appropriate region para wala kayong cross-region charges if ever. Then sign up lang. Then we also have yung Cortex Code CLI. Pero $40 lang yung inference credits ng Cortex Code dito. So Cortex Code is basically parang yung cloud code nyo if you want to try it. Ayan. So kapag sinelect ko na to, going back, sorry. So, ayan, so see, yan lang naman. So if you have any questions siguro with schema change, I'll check na lang yung chat. And okay. Ay, hindi ko pala na-paste yung trial account. Sorry. Ayan. Ayan. So please visit na lang yung mga links, especially yung trial account ng Snowflake. Ayan. So, limited to DDL lang ba siya or pwede rin mag-record ng updates? Can you expound yung record ng updates of what you want to do first? Because technically, since a SQL siya, you can pretty much put anything you want to put. Pero we want to restrict siguro kung ano yung ginagawa niya just for governance. How to apply change validations or something like preconditions of Liquibase. Like Liquibase any. Okay, so yung ganyan, let's check yung GitHub nila. So you can use variables siguro, secrets filtering, let's see. Changes by table. Let's see. Scroll. Natin kung meron si SQL ay si Snowflake schema change ng preconditions. So, change script. For that question, siguro we'd have to explore more kasi the way I see yung schema change right now kasi parang more on straightforward changes lang siya. Meron siyang mga steps dito for like Jinja templating. If you prefer yung Jinja template. Okay. Mm. Maybe we can demo some change. Mm. Yeah, actually. File naming conventions ba to? Of how you want to name yung mga changes natin, parang ganon. Okay. So sige. Punta tayo sa ano to? GitHub. I'll share quickly. Share. Ayan. So, sa question ni sir, so meron kasing difference naming strategies for Snowflake schema change, no? Yung ginamit natin is yung version script naming. Ito yung parang, I guess, yung pinaka-standard na ginagamit ni schema change. So, usually, ito yung ganito, yung minention ko na parang naming strategy nila pwedeng 1.1, 1 underscore, or kung ano man. Just keep it uniform all around, no? Then, yung changes na to, parang iraran niya to sequentially depende sa kung ano yung nandito sa change history. So in this case, let's say nag-deploy ka ng yung dev natin nasa version 3 na yung tinitingnan niya, right? Pero naglagay ka ng file na let's say version 2.1.0. Hindi niya to iraran dahil version 3 na ang tinitingnan niya. O parang version 3 onward. So pwede niyang i-run yung version 3.0.1, 3.1.1, etc. yung mga ganun. Then so next is yung repeatable script naming, which is si R. So si repeatable, basically, iraran niya to paulit parang every time na mag-execute ka. Ayan. So let's say, ganda dito. Maybe view, mga view, stored procedure, siguro pwede ka maglagay dito, etc. Ayan. Itong always script naman, which is yung A, iraran niya to lagi with every run of script schema change, diba? So, kunyari mag-add user ka, assign role, etc. Yan yung mga example ni schema change. So, I guess kung magraran ka ng ganito, something na yung parang initial setup na gusto mong nakalagay agad sa isang panibagong deployment. Mga ganun siguro. Ninja is typing. So if we have more questions siguro, if not, I think, ayan, so A is run always, yeah. R is when there are changes. Yes. So if siguro if we have more questions, you can chat. If not, Yui or Nina.